Hello, everyone. This is Sirsha, and today we're going to be talking about scheduling, about our cancellation policy, about booth sharing, and all things scheduling. So the first thing that's really important to know is that we use email a lot for communications. So both to schedule market days, to give you announcements and updates about market days, and for any miscellaneous communication. It's really, really important that you're checking your email often and that the email that you provide to us is one that you use regularly and is accurate. So the way scheduling works is we are going to schedule market days a month in advance. And I'm just going to open up our vendor handbook so that you can see a little bit about what I'm talking about. So the most important thing to us as far as scheduling is that equity is at the forefront of our minds. And so we don't do a first come, first serve approach to scheduling. Instead, we ask you what your preferred days to vend are and when you are available to vend at the market. And then we will schedule market days based off of that information. And we're going to try to make sure that you have at least 2 market days a month that you're able to vend at. And then just a note here is that typically our booth availability opens up a lot in the second half of the season. And so you'll be able to vend a lot more during that time. Another thing to note here is that if we are not able to schedule you on a day that you have indicated that you would like to vend on, you will be automatically added to a wait list for that day, and we will contact you if there are any cancellations or if an opening is there for you to come and vend at the market. And so the first time you're going to be scheduled is in the beginning of April. We're going to direct you to our scheduling system to request market days for May. And then we'll notify you in mid-April which dates that we can offer you. And at that point, you will be able to reserve the dates and pay your booth fees. Another thing with this is that we really, really encourage booth sharing. And so if you don't have as many items to share to fill up an entire 10 by 10 foot space, or you don't have all of the necessary booth materials, a really good way to work around this and still be really successful at the market is to share a booth with one of your friends. And so you can either share directly with somebody that you know, or maybe you've shared a booth with before, or I'd really encourage you to join our vendor Facebook group or join our Slack group. And in our Slack group, we have a channel for booth share specifically. And so you'll be able to ask anyone in that channel whether or not they are open for sharing a booth. And as we talked about before, it is $15 a booth. And so you do pay that fee in advance. And then on the day of the market, you also pay 10% of your sales. And you pay that in either cash or check at the end of the market. Another thing to note here is that we don't refund booth fees. And so sometimes cancellations do have to happen. We know that life happens and that's okay, but we just want to communicate that the more notice that you give us in advance, the better, because that allows us to fill the booth space with another vendor and keep the market full and bustling and keep that energy really high and good for our market goers and then also your fellow vendors. So open and clear communication is key and really, really appreciated. Another thing to note here is that if you are going to cancel your reserved market day, then you need to communicate your cancellation through email by the Wednesday before the Sunday market day that you need to cancel. Cancellations that occur on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday for that Sunday market will be considered no-shows. 4 no-shows in a row, or 4 no-shows, even with communication, will result in a conversation with the market director about your continued participation in the market. And then 2 no-shows without any prior communication will deny you access from future market day scheduling. So again, it's just really, really important that you are being open and communicating with us as quickly as possible. In this, we do reserve the right to cancel the market if there is severe or extreme weather happening. So in the past, this has meant extreme heat or smoke or wind or really, really severe storms. And we will try to give you as much notice as possible if we are going to cancel the market. And we also encourage you that if you need to cancel your market day in the event of extreme weather, you won't be penalized for this at all. But again, we really just want to communicate that as much notice that you can give us as possible, that is definitely better.